I'm Vinayak.
And I'm Shiksha, and we are going to be your host for today. So, what are we talking about, Vinayak?
Alright, so today we have something very interesting to discuss, which is the psychology of giving. Now, you might assume the fact that, I have a good cause, but if I just show up and say, give me the money, people are going to hand over the money to you. But really, that's not how it works.
Yeah, it makes sense. Which is why we have so many consultants in the market today, because it's not easy to raise those dollars.
It isn't. And as studies show, 72% of the people who donate will donate if they know that somebody has contributed, which comes to our first major point of the day, which is that if you're going to ask for donations, ask it during a charitable time. This could be Giving Tuesday, this can be Christmas season, because when people are feeling more charitable, they tend to give more to charity. And I also have a great stat for that. So Giving USA mentioned that the holiday giving season accounts for 30% of all annual charity donations. So if you're in a group, humans will tend to donate more in a group.
That's like peer pressure, no? And it's not just limited to high school, right?
No.
People want to be more like people that they see around them, admire, and relate to. Talking about peer pressure, I think one of the greatest ways in which influence can be exerted on people is through celebrities.
The most famous example coming to my mind right now is Michael J. Fox, because when he went public with his Parkinson's disease, the donation for Parkinson's research has skyrocketed, and he's not even actively campaigning out there for it, but just his presence pushes it a lot.
Absolutely. I read about Magic Johnson. Now, a lot of us millennials might not know this, but there was a time where the HIV and AIDS disease was pretty taboo, and it was considered to be a disease that affects people that primarily identify as homosexual.
Topping the list of likely victims are male homosexuals.
When Magic Johnson came out with his HIV/AIDS diagnosis, the funding for HIV/AIDS research went up tremendously, and more heterosexual people started taking interest in the disease. They wanted to find a cure and help Magic Johnson, who was a great figure for them.
There's also the example of Princess Diana, when she shook hands, barehandedly shook hands with an AIDS patient. So celebrities do matter, but it is very important to remember that the celeb is actually committed to the cause. Nothing will hamper your cause more if then they suddenly change their mind. So make sure you're picking the right people. But is it realistic for us to wait until a celebrity falls sick?
We hope none of the people that we love fall sick, including celebrities that we admire, right?
Yes.
But what we can do is not wait for this huge celebrity to back our cause. Look at influencers, right? Each community has micro celebs that can influence the people within your community. It could be a leader at your church, or it could be someone who's Instagram famous and there aren't many people in your area. You can go up to them and they could all endorse your non-profit. Now, speaking about psychology hacks, there's something interesting that significantly impacts donation, and no prize for guessing, it's fear. Right?
I'm just robbing the donors now. Hand over the money.
Hold them at gunpoint. Say,
Yes.
please donate.
Not that kind of fear, but fear.
So, multiple studies have found that when you induce fear, not in a negative way, but informing people about what's at stake, it significantly impacts your donations.
You have only 5 minutes to save the world. You have only $5 can make a difference. We are short by only $1. It is the idea of giving somebody that, this is their last chance to make a difference. That's the kind of fear that's really good.
I thought of something. So Joe Biden dropped out of the race, right? And Kamala Harris came in just 3-4 months shy of the elections. She ended up raising the highest amount of capital that any candidate did, right? She raised about $1.5 billion. Can you all imagine a presidential campaign raising that kind of money? It was because people said, hey, Joe Biden's dropped out. It's very last minute. Kamala really needs that win. So if you really believe in everything that she stands for, you have to donate. You have to make this work.
I mean, true. See, when it comes to fear-mongering, let me tell you one thing. You have to appeal to their emotional side, because there have been studies that says that emotional appeals increase donation by 40%. But once again, just like the fear thing and the charity thing, this comes with its own caveat. There's a fine line, actually there's a big line between fear-mongering and appealing to someone's human side. The minute you enter melodrama, it's not going to work. People can see right through that. That's not going to work.
I would like it if I see a heartwarming video of puppies being rescued or finding their forever home. But if you were to flood my social media accounts when I'm trying to rest and, fall asleep with really graphic images of, animal abuse or something else, I would would be so scared about it, I would just move on from there. I wouldn't donate.
Yeah, the trick is to make something like the 101 Dalmatians, but don't show your donors how the puppies are going to be turned into that coat.
If we make this coat, it would be as if I were wearing your dog. Woof, woof.
If you've seen the film. Spoiler if you've seen the film. Not actually a spoiler, but anyway. But moving along, let's go to another tip. Do not speak on behalf of your beneficiaries. Let them speak for you. So there was a study conducted in Africa, a very simple study. They wanted to see if donations would increase if like the professional human rights activist wrote the letter, and if the beneficiary, who happened to be a school teacher in this case, wrote the letter, the school teacher's letter got 30% more donations.
Right.
Yeah, which is a thing because people don't really always trust that their donations are going to go to who it's supposed to go to.
Right, so it makes sense, right? Don't speak on behalf of marginalized communities or the people that you're trying to help. Empower them to speak for themselves. Authenticity matters.
People want to feel involved, and when they can't feel involved, they want to know that the money is going to the right person. But speaking of people who want to feel involved, here it goes to our next point, which is that those who participate are likely to donate significantly more than those who are going to stay home and sit on their Netflix. So what does that mean? Hold events. If you hold a marathon, maybe 50 people run a marathon, but those 50 people will do more for you and donate more for you than 500 people who are sitting at home who would not run that marathon, because the fact that they're willing to run the marathon shows that they're willing to help. So appeal to people who are willing to do, and you'll see your donations increase.
It makes sense. My friend volunteers at the local soup kitchen regularly, and she says that, the more she goes there, volunteers, and hands out food to everyone, she knows who she's impacting, and she also ends up donating quite a bit to the soup kitchen.
Exactly, and this has been proven. So the University of Pennsylvania has found that participation in an event can increase donation likelihood by 50%.
Wow.
It is. Alright, I heard that you have something to say about love to us.
I do. So when I was thinking about psychology hacks that we can use, it's the 5 love languages that Gary Chapman speaks about. Now, I know that's about making your partner feel special, but don't donors also want to feel special? Multiple studies have shown us when you appreciate donors, they are more likely to be charitable to your non-profit organization.
Really?
So what does this mean? The love languages include acts of service, doing something for your local community that helps them feel more charitable to you, words of affirmation, saying thank you, sending an email once they made a donation, gift giving, sending a gift once they've donated or significantly impacted your non-profit organization. And I know why you're smiling, because the last one is a bit controversial. It speaks about physical touch, but we can change it to be more appropriate to physical experiences.
To be clear, we're not telling you to go out and touch your donors, but just give them something to do.
That's inappropriate, Vinayak.
Just say it. Like, you don't want them to do something that they shouldn't. Show your love, but from a distance is the point.
Invite them to events, get them through physical experiences such as volunteering at a soup kitchen, and they would still feel a lot more involved with your organization.
That's true. Now, just to round up, when it comes to like the psychology of donations, what you need to remember are simple points. 1, try to ask people at a time when they're feeling charitable. Try to ask people in a peer group in a method such that their peers are also donating. Make sure that you give people like the seriousness of the cause that you're doing it. Use Gary Chapman's love languages to make them feel special and make them feel wanted, and at the end of the day, encourage them to participate. The more they participate, the more they will feel like donating. Those are our tips for the psychology of donations. Thank you for listening to Call Hub Tech and Tactics podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and didn't laugh too hard at our jokes, don't forget to rate us on Apple, iTunes and Spotify. If you have any questions, suggestions or whatever it is that you want to ask about us, send us a mail at marketing@callhub.io. That's marketing@callhub.io. We shall see you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.